welcome to a special edition of FI News Review. I am your host, Susan Choi, and we are here at the 2024 annual Summer Fancy Foods Show right here in New York City. A lot of activity, just a lot of excitement here. You can see the crowds bustling in and out there, looking at the exhibitors, looking at what the best of the specialty food industry has to offer. And I am so happy to be here with my good friend, FI's VP of Content and Client Relationships, Chris Campbell. Thank you for joining me, Chris.
Not a problem. It's fun to be doing one of these in person instead of behind a webcam. So really good to be in person doing one of these.
Very well said, sir. Really nice to be with you IRL, as they say in real life. So let's go through what we've been seeing at the show. First off, first impressions, the vibe, the atmosphere. What are your thoughts?
So it definitely seems a little bit more crowded than it has the last couple of years. You know, in the post-pandemic period, we saw a little bit of a drop, I think, but it does seem like the show floor is packed today. If you're listening in, you can probably hear it in the background right now. A lot of people talking. So yeah, it definitely seems like it's really well attended this year. A lot of energy and a lot of buzz. And I think one of the bigger things I'm seeing too, a lot of extra international going on the sales floor right now. You walk around, usually it's upstairs, very, very much concentrated with those international suppliers. Seems like even on the downstairs floor this year, there's a ton of international suppliers as well. So pretty interesting overall.
Absolutely. That's a great point. I have noticed that as well. They moved some international exhibitors down on the lower floor where it's traditionally mostly domestic exhibitors. So that's a really interesting strategy that they've pivoted to. Let's talk interesting observations in terms of information, education. One thing that we noticed was data. Everyone's talking about data, and it's certainly a big topic here. What were the insights that you observed, Chris?
So yeah, I got an opportunity to sit in on an info session with Menu Matters, Mike Costio and Maeve Webster over with their team. Yeah, data, you know, one of the biggest buzzwords we've heard in the food industry for a long time. I think at the end of the day, a lot of food companies don't necessarily know how to use all of that data. So one of the common refrains that I'm hearing in a lot of these info sessions, it's not so much go get as much data as you possibly can. It's really get data that's applicable to your company and also figure out a way to make it work for you. So one of the other things too, we saw Brian Choi, Food Institute, presenting here today. He really showed how it's important to kind of right-size your business to what you're actually going after. And it's the same thing with data. When you're going out to get some data, make sure it's applicable to your business and make sure you have the team members that actually know how to use it. Because too much data is almost as useless as no data and you're lost in that sea. So really finding a way to make an actionable insight out of that data, really, really important. I think that was hammered home in a bunch of the different info sessions we saw today.
Right. Knowing how to use the right kind of data you need, not just grabbing it blindly, really understanding your consumer, right? That's really important. With the rise of technology, there are multiple resources that companies can use. They're out there. Companies, right? Data-driven companies, you know, like Spins, like Menu Data, Data Essential, right? That's definitely a trend that we're seeing. I did see a Spins booth at the show here, so that's definitely a trend. Let's get into food trends. What have we been seeing? What have you been seeing, Chris?
So I think you said 100 people in here. You'll probably get 100 different answers. But what I'm seeing is a lot of honey. We're seeing domestic honey. We're seeing some international companies coming in with different honey. Definitely their value proposition being bees, feeding off specific types of flowers, etc. So a lot of interesting developments in the honey space. I also thought the hot sauce space was pretty interesting as well. Kind of a similar dynamic. You're seeing Asian and Latin flavors, but also American companies coming in too and showcasing their own spin on these hot sauce flavors. And combining the two really ties up into that 𝗖𝗄 trend we've been following at the Food Institute. People love hot, people love spicy, they love that sweet. And whenever they can mix them together, they love that too. So we're seeing a lot of that today on the sales floor today too, I think.
Well, there you have it, our insights from the 2024 annual Summer Fancy Food Show. Chris Campbell, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. All right, and as always, you can check out more of our great content by heading over to this playlist. All right, I'm Susan Choi. Till next time, take care.